Good morning. This is Brenda Clark Hamilton. Recently, I was contacted by a large law firm about the possibility of speaking at their retreat here for the entire firm coming up in a few weeks. And one of the things the planner said to me on the phone is we're not always the best within the firm, within the lawyers, of receiving constructive feedback for one another. From one another. And I think that's pretty common. I think, for most of us, if someone comes at us and says, Brenda, here's an area I think you could improve in, most of us are quietly thinking, yeah, keep that to yourself. Well, what happened is I just started thinking about this and wanted to share a little story about a time when I received some very harsh feedback years ago, and how it ended up being a real gift to me in my life and my career. What happened is I grew up on a farm in northwest Iowa, and apparently I had picked up some Iowa farmisms in my communication. More about that in a minute. But what happened is I was in high school, my senior year, I tried out for individual contest speech. I did an after-dinner speech that was humorous, and it was very well received, and I ended up getting accolades all the way to what was nominated for all-state speech, which was a big deal, and got to go to University of Northern Iowa and perform in front of professors. That was a big deal. So when I went to college at Briarcliff College, now Briarcliff University, I took the mandatory, freshman speech class, public speaking, gave my first presentation, expecting I would receive warm accolades from our professor. Well, I finished feeling very confident, sat down in my chair, and the professor stood up and he started reading from his notes. And he said this: gonna, gotta, hafta, coulda, shoulda, mighta, probably, girl, get off the farm. That's really what he said. And I was, as you can imagine, just kind of slumped down in my chair. I couldn't believe how embarrassed I was in front of the other students in the class. I'm sure I cried a few tears back in my dorm afterwards. It was a pretty devastating blow, especially coming unexpected. But through the years, I just kind of made it a goal to say, when I would say probably, to say probably. Rather than just saying we're gonna do this, I'd say we're going to. Rather than saying mighta, I practiced saying might have. And eventually it became that this is the way that I speak. I do articulate those words and have for many years now. Sometimes I look back on that and I think what a gift that painful criticism was. Granted, it could have been delivered a little bit more softly, but nonetheless, now that I speak around the nation and have for many years, I'm grateful that this professor made me aware that not everybody respects someone saying gonna, gotta, have to, shoulda, coulda, probably. So it was a good thing for me. So I encourage you all to think about that. I don't know when I work with this firm if I'll share that story, but it's certainly something to keep in mind, that sometimes painful feedback can actually be a real gift to you in your life, to have that knowledge, that recognition that something that someone sees that you do not recognize in yourself. So thanks so much. Hope you're having a great week.